So after I finished recording last episode, I decided to go back and take another quick peek at the stats and taking a look at Malik Beasley's numbers. You saw there, he had averaging 27.5 points per game. I also decided to go take another really quick look at the All-Star teams, just see if I was overlooking something, because his numbers are 100% All-Star worthy numbers. And, I'm looking over some of the, players that are on these teams. And there's some great guards on these teams, don't get me wrong. And Malik Beasley is listed as a 2 guard. But man, like you would think, especially with him, the NBA would want to get some exposure to their new expansion team. And if for no other reason, it's because he's an up-and-coming young star who put up All-Star worthy numbers. Like, you gotta put him in the All-Star game. Anyway, we all know, all of us Nighthawks fans know how great of a season he's having. And we know he's an All-Star in our hearts. But taking a look at the All-Star participants, I wanted to see here. So I guess it doesn't really show the 3-point participants, but Zion, Donovan Mitchell, Miles Bridges, and Dennis Smith in the dunk contest. That should be really cool, actually. Well, I was going to play the 3-point contest, but, the chances of having one of our guys in it, like Malik Beasley, are probably pretty slim. So, we'll just go ahead and simulate through it. And the next game we're going to be simulating up to is going to be this April 14th matchup against Houston Rockets. It's going to be our last game of the season. And it's going to be a fun one. I mean, we're probably just going in there, to get, step backed by James Harden and triple-doubled by Russell Westbrook. But nonetheless, we want to play another game in this season because us as the GM, we want to get a feel for how this team plays, with the exception of just that Knicks game. I want to get more of a personal feel for what this team is about. So we're going to play that game against the Houston Rockets. Again, last game of the season. You guys definitely wanted to see us play it. We're going to go ahead and simulate through that date and see how we do. And this is good. We're losing. So now it's time for us to start to do some more scouting, sorted by rank. See, this is another reason why playing that last game is also very important, or playing just as many games as possible is very important. I want to get through this season as quick as I can, but I also want to make sure that, we know the team well enough to know what we're looking for in the draft. I mean, we're probably looking for basically everything, to tell you the truth, but I want to go down here and get some of these guys that are going to be later on, maybe in the late first or early second round, because we do have a second round pick now. So we don't want to just scout the high first round, but I think that we got all of our guys that we want. So those are the 7 guys we're going to rock with this time around. And let's continue on here. So we're continuing to lose, which is not bad. Contract extension deadline. Do you want to stop simulating? Yes, let's go back and stop. So it looks like Team LeBron. Well, Team LeBron beat Team Giannis, and as you can see, we did have somebody in the 3-point contest. It was Malik Beasley, and he won it. He won the 3-point contest. That really sucks, man. I know that it shows you, like, when you're in-game at times, like, who's going to be in the 3-point contest. Like, if you're in the middle of a game, it'll show up. But I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me, is there somewhere else you can check on that? Because I couldn't find it. But anyway, Malik Beasley was in it, and he won. Zion won the dunk contest. So that's really cool, man. We had a guy there on All-Star Weekend. I checked the Rising Stars game. We didn't have anybody in that. But Malik Beasley, man, winning the 3-point contest, really, really cool. Let's take a look at the mock drafts. And we are halfway through the season, more than halfway through the season, I should say. And it has us projected to get the 2nd and 6th overall picks, which would be amazing. LaMelo going first to the Knicks is what they project. Wiseman going 2nd to us. Ant-Man 3rd to the Pistons. Halliburton 4th to the Bulls. Toppin 5th to the Hornets. It has us taking Devin Vassell, which is great 3-and-D guy who you can plug in pretty much right away. Spurs taking Denny. Precious going to the Suns. Killian Hayes. Cole Anthony. I just kind of wanted to take a look at the top 10 and see what it's like. But if we get 2 and 6, man, that'd be crazy. We just need ourselves and the Timberwolves to continue losing games. And we don't have any of those guys fully scouted, so we'll just keep the scouting the way it is for now. And let's see, man, we got to keep. All right, now we're back to scouting again. I'll go through this really quick so I don't bore you guys with it. All right, so I added a few new guys to the list, as you can see, so we will continue on simming through the season. We haven't won a game. Well, I was about to say we haven't won a game in a while, and then we win 2 in a row. One being against a very good Raptors team. Another win against the Kings, and then we lost to them. And we are getting closer to the end of the season here. As you can see, we are sitting at 19-62, entering our April 14th matchup against the Houston Rockets. My guess is going to be that the Knicks probably lost more games than us, but as you can see, man, the Rockets 39-42. They were 22-29 last we checked. But man, that is crazy. Like they did a little bit better, but not much. So let's take a look at the standings. Los Angeles and Los Angeles, both LA teams winning 60 games apiece, 67 for the Clippers, and they still got like a game or two left to play. Lakers 60-21, man, what a crazy season for those two teams. The Nuggets at 47-34, Dallas 47-34, OKC, you got Golden State at 45-36, so they overachieved even with Steph Curry being out for the majority of the season, and I believe Klay Thompson being out for the entire season. The Portland Trail Blazers 45-36, so a good season for them. Sacramento 42-39. And Houston, they're out of the playoffs. They're completely eliminated from the playoff picture. Sacramento has clinched, so that's really cool for them. Young up-and-coming team over in Sacramento, and they needed this, man. They needed this. There's been so many rumors about them relocating and, you know, all that. As you can see, Minnesota 31-50. That is what we like to see. That is what we like to see. So we're gonna have a very solid chance of having 2 top 10 picks. As you can see, we are at the bottom of the standings here at 19-62. This season went exactly the way we wanted it to go, man. We needed Minnesota to not have just like a crazy season where they overachieved, even though they do have a very talented young team. But we needed them to do exactly this. Have just a bad record and have a great chance at that pick being very high. Over in the East, not much to be surprised about here. You see Milwaukee at 57-24. Toronto, Philly, both at 53-28 at the moment. Boston at 49-31, so a great season for that young team. Kemba Walker obviously doing some nice things over there. Brooklyn at 49-32. Cleveland Cavaliers at 45-36. Good job, Cleveland. Good job, Cleveland. Looks like the Andre Drummond thing is working out for now, at least for as long as he's there. Orlando, another young team that's definitely, doing much better, as time goes on, 42-39, and they have clinched. And that's got to be rough for Atlanta, man. Very tough. They're probably going to end the season between 1 and 2 games outside of the playoff picture, and that hurts. That hurts. But that hopefully they can use that as motivation going into next season. And then as you can see, these are the bottom dwellers in the East here, and of course the Knicks. Of course the Knicks. You know what? You win. You win, Knicks. You win. You are the best at losing games. I'm done. You win. We are always going to be second. We are always going to be number 2 at being the worst, okay? So, you take the trophy for that one, okay? They're going to have the best chance in the lottery at the number 1 pick. Speaking of the number 1 pick, let's take a look at the lottery odds, and we know what we're pretty much what we're looking at here. The Knicks are going to have the best chance, but we are also going to have a 14% chance. Same with the Pistons. Yep, the Pistons are locked in, so us, the Knicks, and the Pistons are going to have right around a 14% chance. Then you got Charlotte, Chicago. There's Minnesota. So as it stands right now, they're tied with the Spurs for that number 6th, best chance to get the top overall pick. So I think with 1 game left, obviously San Antonio would have to lose and Minnesota would have to win in order for those to flip-flop, because right now if the tiebreaker, I think, goes to Minnesota for having the better of the two. So Phoenix is going to be the 8th, have the 8th best chance. Indiana, I hope there's some pretty heavy protections on that pick, because we do not need Milwaukee getting a top 10 pick after the season they had as the number 1 seed in the East. But as you can see, man, the only thing that matters is us, and we have a chance at getting 2 top 10 picks right now. So we took a pretty deep dive into the stats at the halfway point, but as you can see, top 10, we'll go through the top 15, scorers at least for this, at the end of the season here. Lillard at 30 points a game. Trae Young at almost 30 points a game. LeBron at 29.4 a game. Devin Booker having a great season. He's out for 1 to 2 weeks, by the way. LaVine, 27.5 per game. Giannis, about the same numbers. Malik Beasley ends the season with 27 points per game. We're going to take a look at our player stats in a minute too, but 27 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, over a steal per game. Not bad at all, man. Malik Beasley really showed us that we need to do everything in our power to make sure he sticks around. Pascal Siakam having a great year, man, after winning a championship last season. 26.3 points per game, almost 8 rebounds a game. Harden, you would call this a season in which he underachieved. Almost 26 points a game. For other players, that would be fantastic. For him, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, that's not a James Harden season. Embiid, you expect him to put up 25.8 per game. Same with D'Angelo Russell. Donovan Mitchell at 25 per game. Kyrie Irving at 25 per game. DeRozan, and then Bradley Beal rounds it out, also at 25 per game. So, taking a look at our stats now. We already saw Malik Beasley's stats, but I can't even get over it, man. Seriously, like, when we went and looked halfway through the season when we were at the trade deadline, he was putting up 27.5 points per game. I was blown away. I don't know if you guys were, but I was and now I know he's got that kind of potential, but man, I mean, look, like, the three-point percentage, 40% from three, and he was taking over 10 per game. I mean, like, this dude is the truth. He really is the truth. And, like I said, this is a guy that we want to keep around. Avery Bradley, who's been out for, the majority of the last half of the season here. His numbers went up somehow, though. I don't know how that happened, but 12.2 points per game for him. Dunn with 11.5 points and 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Not bad numbers for Chris Dunn, honestly. Better than what I expected. Bryn with 11.3 points per game. Finney Smith with 11.3. Anthony Simons, definitely a guy who I have a lot of hope for, a lot of faith in, but the playmaking, man, we got to get those assist numbers up. 10 points, 4 rebounds, not bad, though. Biyombo at 9.1 and 8.8 rebounds per game to go along with over 2 blocks per game. Ed Davis, he's just a constant for us, man. 8 points, 8 rebounds per game. Just a great veteran to have around. Bob Mute, 7 points a game. LeCue, who kind of flip-flopped back and forth between the G League and the NBA this year, 7 points per game. He's another guy that we just need to work a little bit, on the other aspects of his game. Sterling Brown, who came over from Milwaukee. I want to see how he did when he got over, with the Nighthawks. So let's see. We'll say since All-Star break. So he put up 7.5 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, a little less than an assist. Decent numbers, though. Very, very good numbers, considering, we were giving him more minutes, and we weren't really expecting a whole lot out of him. We made that trade so that we get the pick, but we also got a decent player for half of a season out of it as well. Evan Turner, you see, put up 6.7 points per game, and then Taco Fall, who I know a lot of you guys are going to want to see more of this coming season, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to see a whole lot more of him this coming season, but he flip-flopped between the G League and the NBA, as well this season. You see his stats, you know what they're all about. And Smilogic and Man, the same thing. They were both in the G League for the majority of the season because I really wanted them to get that playing time and to be able to develop more than I could give them in the NBA. So speaking of our young guys, I have a plan for this Rockets game that I think you guys are going to like quite a bit. But before we jump into that, I want to take a quick look at some of these box scores of the games that we won late in the season. So Milwaukee, as you can see, we beat them by 6. That was definitely a game that I wasn't expecting to win. Finney Smith with 22, Beasley with 16, Chris Dunn 14 points, 9 assists, Biyombo 14 points, 9 rebounds. So we had a very, very good game here against Milwaukee. Anthony Simons putting up 10 points in 16 minutes off the bench, not bad, but only 1 assist. Like I said, we'll work on it. Another really nice victory for us was against the Raptors, who we beat by 3 points. As you can see, Malik Beasley, man, 29-5-1 with 2 steals, only 1 turnover. For a guy that's handling the ball a lot, man, that's just great numbers. He just puts up great numbers, straight up. Chris Dunn, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And as you can see, Simons again off the bench. He's scoring the ball. He is scoring, so we don't really have to worry a whole lot about that. We just got to help him become a better playmaker. That is all it is. And so, since we know that he can score so well, we have to focus in on one area of his game. So, I am very optimistic about him. So, the only other wins that we had in the past couple of months here were against the Wizards, the Jazz, and the Kings. So, teams that we at least can compete with to a degree, I guess you could say. But as you can see, we beat the Jazz by 10 in one game and then got blown out in the other game. But here's the game we're here for today, the Houston Rockets. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this episode into 2 parts. That way you guys can see, more gameplay, and I don't have to cut it short, to like 8 to 10 minutes of gameplay. But as you can see, this is the lineup that they are going to deploy. And as you can see on our side, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I said you guys might like what I do with the lineup and shaking things up with the young guys. Being that it's the last game of the season, I wanted to get the young guys a lot more playing time than what they're used to getting. So I'm going to be starting a lineup of Anthony Simons at the 1, Malik Beasley at the 2, Terrence Mann at the 3, Finney Smith at the 4, and Taco Fall at the 5, and his counterpart is going to be PJ Tucker. He's going to be going up against PJ Tucker on the other side. He's got almost an entire foot on PJ Tucker. This is going to be a fun game.